great day, attractive thinker. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance. We are so delighted to be back here with you. It is a great day to be alive. If you've been tuning into these episodes of Beyond the Break, give yourself a fighting chance. I know that you have the mental tools that you need to live life, not just through a break, but beyond the break. Welcome, my co-host, Tichet Bradshaw, to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. We made it. We made it again and again through another week full of joy, another week full of lessons and blessings. We made it so that we can do, be, and have all that we desire and more. It's a great day to be alive.
Yes, it is Dr. Toni Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist at theattractivethinker.guru. Tisha, you said it best, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. We made it. Why are we talking about that? Because when you're living life beyond a break, sometimes because of what you've been through, somebody has to make an announcement. Somebody has to notify you of the progress that you've made, because you can't see your own progress sometimes, especially when you feel like you're in a cloud or in the fog, or you're really going through something. And when we talk about beyond the break, we're talking about beyond a heartbreak or a break in a success. Now, let me highlight a break in a success. What does that mean? And why would we need mental tools for living life beyond a break in a success? Think about your last accomplishment. Think about what it took for you to accomplish that and how excited you were, and when it finally happened and how you felt. Well, after that high, after that accomplishment, and you come back to, I'll call it normal life, the normal way of life, because we've all done it. Tisha and I plan events all the time. We create live events and virtual events, and there's a lot that goes into that. It takes a lot of your time and your energy and your attention, and a lot of things that you used to do in the normal sense of a day have to be pushed to the back burner, because now you have these new responsibilities and these new obligations that you have to put your energy into. So with all of that hype and excitement and anticipation, once it's over, how do you handle that? How do you handle the gap, beyond that break in success? You've accomplished it, you're excited, it went over well, you were successful and prosperous. And now there's a transition that needs to take place between what just happened and what life is like now on the other side of this. So we have to go through these processes in order to balance our energy back out, balance our lives back out, so that we can continue to move forward. Now, this break, Tisha, it happens in a whole lot of situations. There's a break when a student graduates from high school into college. There's a break there. And there's some things that they have to deal with within themselves, because they're no longer who they used to be. They're not who they're going to be yet. So this identity crisis, they have to deal with this even as young people. There's a break that takes place after college into whatever career or a business life that you decide to create for yourself. There's a break there, because these breaks that we're talking about is due to us being a part of some type of culture or community or way of living. It's a lifestyle. And that break takes place because we're exchanging one life for another, one lifestyle for another. That break also takes place when you move out of your parents' home for the first time. That break takes place when you get married. You're transitioning. There's a break between being a single person and being a married person. When someone comes out of prison, that same transition, that same break. A lot of people don't have coping mechanisms for these transitions in life, for these breaks, for living life beyond the break. They don't have the right coping mechanisms. And, when you don't have the right coping mechanisms in place, you're thinking that what you're experiencing is more of you than this thing that we call beyond the break. Everybody experiences that transition. So I said that to say this: with all of that going on, when you've made it, somebody has to notify you of that, because sometimes you could go through something for so long, you have your head down just trying to make it. You don't realize that you already made it out. Have you ever watched a movie and the person is running and they're running and they're running from something, not knowing that they outran it, and they're still running, not knowing that it's no longer chasing them, not knowing that they're no longer in danger. We're here to inform you, attractive thinker and visual encourager, that you made it. You're no longer in danger. You're no longer in the break. You're beyond the break now. Let us tell you, let us inform you, allow us to share with you. You're living life beyond the break now. This is what it feels like beyond the break. This is what the new life looks like. Tichet, talk to us about we made it. What does that look like? Why would that even make a difference in the life of an attractive thinker or visual encourager?
Absolutely. You said something. You said when you make it, somebody has to tell you or remind you that you made it. And the reason why that happens is because sometimes we get so caught up in what we just went through, or get so caught up in a situation that we don't recognize that when we made it, because our mind is still in the same situation. For example, when I was giving birth to my daughter, I carried her, and I went in labor, and I was in labor with her for about 11 days, right? But after I've endured so much through that labor. After I gave birth to her, my body and my mind was still in the delivery room. After she was already here and everything, and I for some reason my mind kept replaying the situation over and over and over again. So my mind was thinking that I was in there in the delivery room and my body was following. So it's like I kept pushing and kept pushing. Sometimes when we go through a certain amount of trials or tribulation or situations and we're in it for so long, we get accustomed to that. We start identifying with that situation, and when we identify with that situation and that situation is over, like you said, Dr. Toni, about the schooling, now we have to find a new identity. And the identity, when you're taking a break in a success and you're trying to find a new identity, sometimes it's hard to know where to start. The main question we ask is, what now? What to do now? Where do we go now? What do I do now? Because you're so used to having that goal at the end of this sentence, or at the end of the sequence of things that you have went through. You're so used to having that goal in mind. But once you reach set goal or set point, you're like, okay, now what? Now what's the next point? Or what's going on? And okay, I made that. I did my book. Now what? I got the job. Now what? I got the promotion. Now what? I got the house. Now what? Okay, I'm driving my car. I have accomplished the American dream. Now what? Right? Because a lot of us will have a certain dream or vision in place, but once you give birth to that vision, you're like, okay, what do I do now? Because we haven't considered that there's more beyond that vision. And that's something that we want to teach today, is even though you have a vision, you have to be open to knowing that there's more to the vision than what you imagine. And then you have to trust what happens beyond the break. So when you get your breakthrough, you have to trust what happens after you get that breakthrough. When you're in a situation that's not pleasing, a situation that you might find limited, or a situation where you're not happy with, and you've been in that situation for so long that once you moved or transitioned or gotten out or climbed out of that situation, your mind is so used to functioning in the way of that situation that you start recreating that situation again, because you're so used to what goes on in that situation. For instance, for a woman who might deal with abuse, when she gets out of that situation, you might find that she might still flinch, or she might still feel like she has to cover herself, or she might still have nightmares, or she might still have the effects of that abuse. When she comes out of that abuse, she now has to discover her identity outside of that situation. She has to discover who you have to discover who you are outside of what that point was, because that was part of an identity, but it wasn't your identity as a whole. Your identity has as a whole is grand and great, and it has unlimited possibility. You have to understand that the sky is not even the limit, really, because we can go in the sky. And at what point do we say we made it once we're in the airplane? When you say the sky's the limit and you get in the airplane, you made it. But at what point do you say you made it? What is the point of making it is what we need to understand. Because sometimes we think that moving out of the house has made it, getting that job has made it, making these millions has made it, discovering this business has made it. But at what point do you make it? See, the thing is, we made it at the point of the journey. You already made it in the journey. That's why you're on the journey. That's why you got the vision. At the point that you decide to take up the identity and to take up all of the things that's necessary for you to produce that, you have already made it. So you're already a mom at conception. You're already a mom while you're carrying the baby. They say we want to take care of the baby and the mom. While the baby is in your womb, you are the mom. When you give birth to that vision, you are the mother of that vision. You have to protect that vision just like you did when it was in your mind, just like you did when it was in your heart. Everybody's not ready to be around or qualified to be around what you just gave birth to. And so when you just gave birth, you find yourself in a vulnerable position. You find yourself vulnerable. You find yourself open to new ideas. And now you're like, okay, I'm up here. I don't want to lose it. You can't focus on the loss. You got to focus on how do I maintain what I just gave birth to? How do I get to the point where I say, okay, I'm at peace now. It's done. How do I get to that point? You have to take that point automatically now. You have to remind yourself, I made it at the moment I decided to go for it. I made that business at the moment I decided to pursue it. Soon as you sign up for an LLC, or soon as you have the desire to produce a business or any kind of ministry or anything you have in your dream, you are the dream. But here's the kicker. You are more than the dream, because once the dream comes to pass, there's more. So how do we get to the point of where we were living, that where we were going for that dream to go into the next dream? You have to trust the process in between. So when you're in a breaking of success, this is where you trust the process and continue building, continue learning, okay? Because sometimes we don't know what's next until we go on that discovery journey where we discover what we love and what we don't want, and where we discover the new things that we can do, discover new gifts, and being open to receiving. Because sometimes we get so used to giving that when it comes time to receiving, we feel different. We don't receive as well as we give, and that's troublesome as well, because you're blocking the next overflow. You can't block the next overflow and desire it to come at the same time. So it's a choice. Happiness, we always say, is a choice, and we have to choose to always be becoming. We have to choose to always be in growth, to always be evolving. We have to understand that some things happen, some things they just happen. And we have to trust the process, that even if darkness shall come in, it does not have any effect when I am the light. So in the midst of beyond the break, in the midst of a break in the success, in the midst of all of that, you have to trust that you are the light. You have to hold on to that light with whatever you got it, and trust that whatever's coming next is going to reveal itself. Because sometimes you walk into something, when you step up into that next level, you think everything is going to be all this, that, and the other, and you have no idea the things that's waiting for you up in the next level. You have no idea the amount of happiness, and you have to be open and receptive to receive what comes with opening a business. You have to be open and receptive to what comes with now being a new mom, now with being a new ministry, now with being this new person, now with not being in a relationship that's abusive. Now you got to be open and receptive to what it means to be abundant. Now you're receiving abundance. People are pouring into you and pouring into you. You have to be open and receptive. And for some givers, that is hard. For some givers, that is hard. So when we find ourselves in a break of success, or in the midst of a break, or beyond the break, at the end of the day, you got to trust the process and be open to grow. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
That is so fantastic and amazing, Tichet. So many wonderful things you said that I really want to highlight so that the attractive thinkers and the visual encouragers can really get the gist of what we're saying here. When we talk about you made it, we're talking to you. Yes, you, the viewer, you're the one that's listening to this message. So we're talking to you. So many times, Tichet, we hear messages and we don't really relate it to ourselves. We hear it and we think it's for everyone else and not us. But we're here to share with you, attractive thinker, that you made it. You, the one who was going through the break, the one who is living life after the break, beyond the break. Tichet, I'm going to go through some of my notes because I underlined so many high points that I really want to make sure that we get while we're listening to this message, because they are very, very important. When you said you could go through so much in life that your mind doesn't know that you're out of it. Your mind, listen, attractive thinker, we automatically know. If you've been listening to Beyond the Break, picking up these episodes, for some time now, you know that the subconscious mind is programmed through repetition. So beyond the break, prior to the break, we were going through things over and over and over and over and over. That's how the subconscious mind got programmed. So when you come out of it, the subconscious mind is still on that loop. It is still on that loop. It's the same way as when you learn new information. Just because you learn something new doesn't mean you're going to implement it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be easy for you to apply it. You learn the new information. You become conscious of that. Now you have to go in. It's your responsibility to go in and reprogram your subconscious mind so that your mind is working for you and with you and not against you. Because most of the time, Tichet, with my experience in coaching entrepreneurs, nationally and internationally, it's the same story. They have the new information. They bought the CD package or the workbook or the program. They joined the business and they want to begin to be prosperous and put things into place, but they have these new ideas with an old mindset. The mind is already programmed for who you were prior to purchasing this program and this package, or prior to getting the idea that you could be successful or do something amazing with your life. The mind was already set. That's what a mindset is. Your mind is already set on a track that's on repeat. So when you acquire something new or new information and you want to do something new with your life, you have to reprogram your mind or it will continue. It's like playing an old record when there's a new song out. You still playing the old record that nobody wants to hear anymore because they produced a new song. The same group, they got a new song, they're singing a new tune, and you back there jamming to the old way things used to be. And you could tell that it's not in alignment. Everywhere you go, you're talking about this artist with this old song, and everybody else is talking about the new song that they just put out. So it's two minds going on here, and they're clashing, and you're getting nowhere fast. Tichet, you said your mind doesn't know. So that's our responsibility when we're living life on the other side of the break, because we made it. See, the life that you're living on the side of I made it is not the life you're going to be living, beyond the break. That old life you were living before you made it, that's a whole nother different life. It's not even going to fit in this space and season that you're in right now. So Tichet, you also said we keep pushing and pushing. We keep pushing and pushing. And when you said that, because beyond the break, and if you've made it, you're in a season of that you've made it, then it's easy to continue to strive and chase and try and keep pushing. I equate it to, sometimes you see the movie and the person is running from something in the woods, and they're running and running and running and running, not realizing that they outran it, not realizing that they're out of the woods, and not realizing that they're no longer being chased. You're no longer being chased, attractive thinker, because you made it. You no longer have to push and strive because you made. Look around. Look around. Do you notice that things look different? Do you notice that the scene has changed? The setting has changed. The players have changed. The people around you are different. The conversation has changed. Have you noticed how you feel? How differently you feel now than when you felt before? You made it. You just needed somebody to confirm that for you, to announce and pronounce that for you, so that you don't continue to run in this season like you're being chased, so that you don't continue to wear yourself out energetically trying to acquire, not understanding that it's already in your hand. You already have access to it. So Tichet, you said we haven't considered that there's more. And you were talking about beyond the break. Sometimes when you're in pursuit and you're going through the break and you're knuckling down and you're holding on until the dust settles, it's easy to think that life beyond the break is going to be the way life is now. It's easy to think because the mind is something else. I'm telling you, your mind, even though you have this goal and this thing that you want to accomplish, or you just come through something really heartbreaking, your mind will not support you in seeing how fantastic and amazing it's going to be on the other side. It's not going to support you in seeing how happy and peaceful and joyful you'll be on the other side. So it's possible to not even consider. Sometimes you have to shake yourself and say, wait a minute, where I'm going is better than where I've been. Where I'm going, there's more of me to experience. Where I'm going, there's more potential for me to develop within myself. Where I'm going, I'm not going to be who I used to be. No, attractive thing, I want you to understand, where you're going, you're not taking those past struggles with you. You're not going to struggle there like you struggled here. I want you to understand that sometimes you have to remind your mind and tell yourself that where I'm going is new, because the mind will help support you in creating over there what you have already created over here. I remember one time someone asked me to help them pick out some items, like be it clothing or whatever, because they had the tendency, even though they were looking for something new, they had the tendency to pick out the same thing that they used to pick out. Even though they were in a new season, they wanted a makeover, they wanted to present themselves in a different way, or maybe a new color, a new style. But if you don't take someone with you to outthink your mind, when you just take yourself, you're taking your old mindset with you, and that old mindset will talk to you and have you walking out of the store with the same pair of glasses you have on your face. That old mindset will have you picking and choosing relationships like you did in the past. It will have you purchasing food items and clothing items and whatever else, cars and homes, just like you did in the past. Because the mind has to be renewed. The mind is a powerful thing. Don't underestimate the power of the mind. So when we talk about you made it, you have to be informed, because your mind will play games on you. Your mind will play tricks on you and have you thinking that you haven't made any progress. You're not getting any better. Nothing's changing. It's not getting better. You're not doing well. When have you ever experienced people looking into your life and seeing the fantastic, amazing energy that you have and the progress that you're making, while you're sitting there in guilt and shame and regret, while you're sitting there still trying to make what they already see that you've made, still trying to make it when people see that I want you to understand this, attractive thinker. Always remember, people do not see you the way that you see you. We've talked about this, Tichet, so many times, because when your mind is beating you up and showing you your mistakes and the regret and shame, and showing you that you can't make it, and showing you that it's not going to happen and things like that. The whole time that you're sitting there believing that and acting and functioning in that mindset, there are people out here that are admiring you, wish they had what you had. They see that you're doing great things. They think the world of you. There are two minds going on here, two different visions, two different perceptions, and you have to decide which one you're going to see through. What perception are you going to view your life through? What mindset are you going to think through when you're living life beyond the break? Back to you, Tichet.
See, that's the thing. When you have that perception, when you question what perception are you having while going through this, that makes such a difference. Yes. Because the perception that you have determines how you're going to respond. It determines how you're going to build, because how you respond, what you focus on grows, right? And when you focus on something so much, you identify with that something, and then you start making decisions based on that thing, and then you start creating out of that perception. The thing about it is, in order to become something different, something new, something better, you're going to have to take the art of letting go. You're going to have to let go of the old. You can't, you know how they say, the Bible says you can't put old wine in new wine skin, it'll break. Now, we have to think about that. When you try to take the old mindset and put it into your new life, you're creating another break. You're creating not a break as far as a breakthrough, but you're creating a break in the success. You're creating another situation just like the one you just left, because the mindset that you have is what created the last one. Now you might say, I didn't ask for this, and I didn't ask for that, and I didn't ask for this. Do we understand how free we are? And how that guilt, shame, I'm telling you, that guilt and shame is something else, because it'll make you believe you have to stay in that job. Yes. That guilt and shame make you believe you have to stay in that relationship. That guilt and shame make you believe you have to stay in a situation you no longer value, or that's not helping you grow. That guilt and shame will make you believe you can't get rich because your family doesn't want to be rich. You can't have nice things because you know your family doesn't have nice things. So that we have to shed off that guilt and shame that came with us, or that didn't come with us at birth, but it came with us through this situation that we just left. It built up with that situation, because the more and more we were inflicted, the more and more we built up that guilt and shame, the more we were blocking the next blessing. But then when you are an attractive thinker and a visionary, you break through all of that. You shed all of that off, knowing that there's more, and you say, I'm willing to risk it all. Go out here to see what's out here, than to stay in somewhere I'm not wanted, than to stay somewhere where I'm not treasured, I'm not valued, I'm not growing, I'm not nourished. I'd rather go out there. I'd rather risk going out there and having nothing at all than to settle for something that's not valuable, settle for something that's not worthy to me. Because you have a choice. You have a choice in your life to whether or not you decide to have children, whether or not you decide to give birth to a ministry, a business, whatever. You have a choice. You can choose the business, but you know what? Sometimes the vision will choose you. Sometimes the gift will choose you, but you still have the decision whether or not you're going to operate on it. So when you're making this decision to go anew, go abroad, right? And you're creating something that you've never had before. It's going to take letting go of that old stuff. Like you said, a person might be wanting to take the same clothes that they had to a new life, and it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. When I did my weight loss journey and I lost all that weight, I had to get rid of my old clothes. And the reason why I chose to get rid of my old clothes, because not only did it not fit my body, it didn't fit my mindset anymore. The mindset that I was when I bought the clothes was different than the mindset I was by the time I finished making it to where I wanted to be, right? And I let it go because I no longer wanted it to be an option. So you gotta let go of things that you no longer want it to be an option. I don't want this. I don't like that. Why would I make that an option? I'd rather not have. I'd rather not have it. So when I was moving, I had to do the same thing. When I went into a new home, I had to do the same thing. I had to turn down things that that didn't match me, and I had to trust that what matched me will find me, and it did. I had to trust it. I had to be willing to risk it. I took a risk. We were 3 days from homeless, and then I found the one that I was looking for. I found everything that I was looking for, and I walked in it like it was mine. I walked in it like it had been waiting for me all my life. But I had to choose not to have something else take its place. We have to stop allowing placeholders to come in and take up our time, our energy, and sit there and because it's not doing anything but wasting. Those people that are placeholders, you got friends just to be calling friends, but they not real friends, they frenemies. You got friends that stab you in the back and talk behind your back, and you can't trust them around your family, and they taking your money and they taking your ideas and your business. As soon as you say something, you see them doing it, and you see them copying every little thing you do. You have to be careful with that. You have to know that I would rather be by myself, peaceful and happy, than to be in any kind of relationship, business relationship, love relationship, friend relationship with somebody who I have to keep watching over my shoulder. Because do you know how much time that takes to have to keep watching every little thing you do? I don't want them to steal it. You know how much time it takes to shove stuff under a cushion? You know how much time it takes to keep having to lock up everything you got? Because now when you lock up something, not only are they not able to get access to it, you're not free to get access to it. So you got to remove all of those things that you don't want to have access to you in your heart and your vision. You have to remove it. I don't care how long it's been in your life. You're in a new season. You have to make a new decision. You cannot keep making the same decisions over and over again and expect new results. We call that sanity, right? So you have to be willing to overcome the guilt and the shame that attached you to situations that did not value you, situations that wasn't allowing you to grow. You have to be willing to be a rose to grow out of concrete. You know how much that would take to not have a surrounding that called for growth, but you grow anyway. You know how much power that has to be a rose to grow up in the middle of concrete? That means no matter what, I'm unstoppable. I'm unlimited. I don't care what happens. I'm getting up out of here. So for some of you that feel like you're in a glorified jail, you're free. You are free to leave, free to move, free to go. You got to take that opportunity. You are free and you made it. You made it. Why? Because your mind says, your new mindset says, as long as I'm on the road to freedom, I am free. As long as I'm on the road to building, I have built. I have a home, it's being built. You know what I mean? Like, how many times when you go to tell somebody, yes, I'm moving, but then once you buy the land and once you build a house, it clicks in you that I'm really doing this, am I? You have been really doing this the entire time. You've been moving for as long as you made the decision to move. You have been free for as long as you made the decision to be free. You have the choice not to let things lock you down. You have the choice to not to do things that does not satisfy or that does not help you grow. You have a choice. It's going to take you to move past all that guilt and shame, and take you to move past of what you think you know, and take moving past anybody that told you you can't. Show them you can. It's going to take power. And
go ahead, Tichet.
Access power, it's going to take knowing who you are, knowing that you are that power. and that you have enough power. Knowing that you are that power is enough to make you create a whole new world, a whole new universe that don't look nothing like the one you're used to. It's enough to make you change your whole reality once you understand who you are. But who you are is the thing that's been crying out for you in those situations. Who you are is what's been crying out. That's why you can't get comfortable. You got all this gift and this anointing, and you have all of this desires and dreams and vision. And you mean to tell me you're going to stay in a limited situation and you're going to try to get comfortable there? Impossible. Impossible. When you're loaded with possibilities, it is impossible to sit there and stay in your comfort zone and not examine or explore or experience any of those possibilities. You'll keep hearing that crying out, and know what? You'll feel suppressed, oppressed, and depressed. So you have to allow yourself the freedom to be the powerful you. You have to allow yourself the freedom to know that everything that you desire and everything that you want and everything that you dream about in your vision is waiting for you on the other side, if not greater. If what you said you want is not waiting for you, then you have to trust that there's greater. You have a house in mind, you have a relationship in mind, you have a business in mind, you have a you have a lifestyle in mind. All that's waiting for you. You're not going to fall short of it. All that is waiting for you and more. Once you walk into your power, you realize that you can create anything. This life can be anything. You don't have to stick to the same old, same old. How are you? Same old, same stuff, different day. No, you don't have to do that. It is so exciting to know that every day you are granted a brand new set of 24 hours to do what you never did, go where you never gonna have all that you deserve to have. Every day when you wake up, you have the opportunity. It stares you in the face, whether you see it or not. It stares you in the face. You have the opportunity to create something of power, of joy. But in order to do that, you can't focus on the naysayers. You can't focus on what's not happening. You can't focus on what didn't go on. You can't focus on what you didn't have. And you can't focus on the fact that you think you didn't make it when you made it. You made it. You already made it. If you open the email that had this video in it, if you clicked on this video, we are here to confirm to you. This is not nothing new. We are confirming what you already know, that's already in your spirit. You made it. That's the reason why you clicked on this video. That's the reason why you watched this far. Because you already made a visionary, attractive thinker. You've already crossed every mountain. You already did that. You've already surpassed what you said you wanted to do. You surpassed all that you said you couldn't do. Some of you said I couldn't live out here by myself, and here you are, out here by yourself. Not only by yourself, but you're doing it like it look easy. You're making it look easy. You're taking care of yourself. You're out here flying, and you're doing good. Enjoy that air. Enjoy that new life you have going on. It's been staring at you this entire time. So the minute that you catch your vision, just like that, you made it. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
Wow. My God, my God, my God. That was powerful. That was powerful. That's what I'm talking about right there. People need to be informed. Our attractive thinker and visual encourager community need to be informed, Tichet, that we made it, that you made it. You made it. So from this day forward, walk in that perspective. Nothing else has to change. But when you change your perception about something, it changes everything going forward. Walk in that perspective. I've already made it. You're not running from anything. You're not being chased anymore. You've already made it. Now that in this new identity, in this new season of your life, figure out, explore, like Tichet said, be excited about this new life. Explore and see how you're going to manifest a higher version of yourself over here. Now you have an opportunity to reach higher levels of potential and live your life the way you want to live it. Walk throughout life the way you want to walk it out. And you paid the price. You went through the hills, the valleys, and the mountains and the rivers to get here. You paid the price. So now enjoy it. Be the fullest expression of yourself. Don't go back to settling for what is no longer working in your life. You're done with the guilt, shame, and the regret. So many incredible things you said to share. And I want to, before we close out this episode, attractive thinkers, I want you to understand, you said you have to overcome the guilt, shame, and regret of what it took to get you here. Let that go. If that's what it took, so be it. Look at where you are. You're fantastic and amazing. I always say, if you're still breathing, you got this. If you're still breathing, you made it. If you're still breathing, you made it. Are you breathing while you're watching this episode? Then you made it. That's all. That's the only prerequisite to accomplishing or success or living or being notified that you've crossed over, is that you're still breathing. Don't talk to me about you scraped your leg and you broke your fingernail and you had to leave this one, like Tichet said, you had to cut that off. Are you still breathing? Oh my God. Are you still breathing? That means all of heaven, all of life is still available to you. Just start again. You're not starting over. Just start again. Just do it this time with this perspective and this wisdom and these lessons and these blessings that you've gathered along the way, and create something fantastic and amazing for yourself. This is an opportunity for you to do it new, for you to do it your style, in your way, and the way you like it, the way that makes you feel alive. You've waited all your life for this moment. You've waited all your life to do this. You've been dreaming about it, and now you're living the dream. Now you're in the dream because you've made it. Tichet, you said, you know how much power you have to have in order to be in this space right here. Do you know how much power you have to have in order to grow through concrete? To grow in those undesirable circumstances that you came through, to grow through all of those circumstances and situations and all of that trauma that it took for you to get here. Do you know how power? You said it takes power. And that struck a chord with me because, I'm big on power, because power allows you to do things that aren't humanly possible. It's not even, when you look back to from where you came from, it's not even humanly possible for you to have accomplished it and gone through that and come here looking like you look today, thinking like you think today, feeling like you feel today. That's not humanly possible. That means you activated the power. See, we're here to inform you, not only that you made it, but you activated a power that you may not even be aware of, because it's not humanly possible for you to be where you are today. Turn around, look at the right and the left. Are the people that you started out running with, are they there? Are they still running with you? You made it. We didn't say everybody that was with you made it. We said you made it. And that's a difference, attractive thinker. One of the things that you said to Shet is it clicks. And that clicked with me when you said that. You said it clicks. Oh, I'm moving. Oh, I made it. Oh, it's working. Oh, I took the right path. Oh, you mean I can have that? Yes, you're informed. You have to inform your mind that you made it, or you're just repeating. You're a replica of who you used to be. And you know that you made it when it clicked, it hits you, because sometimes you could be in the routine of it. You're going through the motion. You say, wait, whoa, wait, this looks new. This doesn't look like what I used to do or have or be. This doesn't look like what I've come through. This whole environment is new and different. You mean I made it? You mean I was destined to make it? You mean that wasn't designed to kill me? Yes, that's what we're saying to you today. That's exactly what we're saying. So it's going to click in your spirit. It might click after. Sometimes to share, people get things a little bit late, but at least they get it, right? It might click after you end this message, after you stop listening to this message. It's going to click with you that you made it. And when we say click, we're talking about that perception shift. We're talking about you're looking at life through one lens, and all of a sudden the lens changes and you see something totally different. You're like, wow. We're here to say, welcome to a brand new world. Welcome to a brand new day, because like Tichet always says, it is a great day to be alive. Dr. Toni Hatton here to excite you, motivate you, inspire you, turn the light on for you so that you can see more clearly what it is that you're pursuing, where you are, and what you've overcome, so that you can go and express and expand and reach more higher levels of yourself and release more potential in the earth, because the earth needs it. Tichet, tell our audience how they can get in touch with you, the visual encourager.
Absolutely. You can find me on my website at www.visualencouragement.com. We provide mental support for movers and shakers, for trailblazers, pathfinders, and groundbreakers. All of you visionaries who desire to move mountains but need help lifting the heaviness so that you can create a new vision for yourself. Go to my contact us page, put in your information. Let me know how I can uplift you, enlighten you, and encourage you so that you can live a life fulfillment, that new life beyond the break, the one you made, that life. Again, my website is www.visualencouragement.com. See you soon.
Awesome. Attractive thinker, you always hear us say, my life's work, that's to make your life better. Remember to visit the website, www.theattractivethinker.guru. There's some audios there. They're free. You'll get them in your email. How to turn your problems into your solutions. Remember, it is not what you're going through. It's how you're viewing it. Think attractively, and we'll see you soon.